Hey guys, I'm Angie.
And I'm Lou.
We're Eat, Sleep, RV Repeat.
And this is Tuesday Talk for July.
Unfortunately, we didn't upload one for June because I did have jury duty and it took up a lot of time, unexpected time.
Yeah.
But we're here for July and hopefully you didn't miss us too much.
And we're going to get you all caught up.
Yeah, there's a couple of updates on our upcoming RV life, some changes, and we wanted to discuss those possibility of the changes with you guys. I think Lexi has something to say about that.
Yeah. Presently dog sitting, or should I say fur baby sitting, for my sister and my brother-in-law. And so you're going to hear that now we have 4 little fur babies running around.
Yeah.
While we're doing this.
See this guy here? This guy here, that's Cowboy.
Yeah.
So, you want to kick off the updates?
We have one update, not a couple of updates. It's just one update,
Right.
and we had a bit of a financial setback, something personal that we're not ready to discuss, or we might never discuss. But it falls in the realm of finances, and so that seems to be pushing us into new boundaries. And the new boundaries are that we need to reevaluate what our dream RV is and what are the options of what we're going to get. And so that's what we're going to discuss with you today. And we're considering 3 different choices at this point, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. So I guess the first one, which is ironic because if you guys remember one of our last stories, we talked about how this started, and it started with me falling in love with the van life and Lou being like, absolutely not. But little by little, she's been watching other van life videos and she's open to the idea.
Okay, correction. The vans that Angie showed me were bare bones, throw a mattress in the back of the mattress, in the back of the van, and live in there. I'm still not on board with that.
So she's actually come up with her own plans. She spent probably weeks drawing out layouts with literally like the dimensions and the feet, like everything, details of how things would go, and then always presents it to me. What do you think about this layout? What do you think about that layout? And the latest one is like the most awesome one. It's pretty dope. So it's a possibility.
So in a past life, I took a year of architectural drafting. And though I never used it for anything at all,
Shh, Cowboy.
Though I never used it for anything at all, I started to use it now, and I had some graph paper, and I did actually like true to life sizing. I forgot what it's called actually. Design of what the van would look like on the inside, and we're considering a cargo van. More specifically, maybe a Chevy Express, because of the amount of space it has in the back. And these are all considerations. We're not married to any one of them, okay? But because we have to keep our options open, because we do want to get on the road next year, and because we've had this setback, we're beginning to consider other options. And so the van is one of the options. And for me to live in the van, we need a porta potty. For sure. I've given up on the shower part because I know that we can go to the gym and shower. But it has to have a porta potty in it. We need a kitchen, a fully functioning kitchen. So like a propane stove, a way to refrigerate our food, and running water. And then of course we need a comfortable bed and hopefully some sitting areas. Ideally, we would have 4 sitting areas. The 2 seats in the front of the van Ideally, they could rotate. They would be on a platform where they would rotate and face the inside of the van, and maybe some sitting area between the bed and the living area. And so that's what I have in mind. And I'm not thinking of a real complicated build, and I know it sounds like it, but I'm thinking of like probably 50% of the build would probably be IKEA furniture. You know, where we could buy the furniture, build it inside the van, attach it to the van in some way so that it wouldn't, you know, scurry along as we're driving. And then the other part would be some simple building, you know, because neither Angie or I have any real experience in doing that. We obviously cannot hire someone to do that. But I've seen enough videos that I think that for what we're thinking about, or what we'd agreed upon, if that's what we're going with, we can get it done with IKEA furniture and a build.
I know Lou had looked up different furniture, not only in IKEA, but even Walmart, and took down the measurements of what everything was like, okay, this is a possibility, and that's a possibility, and worked it into, you know, her mathematical plan and equation. And if that's something you guys are interested in knowing more about, comment below in the comments that you want to know more about her design of the van build, and we can include, you know, a picture and walk you through exactly her plan. We'd love to share that, not in this video because I don't even have that here. I'm sure that's at home.
Yeah.
But we can make a video discussing that in more detail for you.
I'll be more than happy to share the plan that I made. The last one that I made, for us, in terms of it fitting us, it was so good that I'd stop there.
I'm in love with it.
That's
it's
the end of it.
A beautiful design. So yeah, I think you guys should comment below.
And it's based on the cargo space of a Chevy Express, which is, I believe it's 11 feet by 5.5 feet wide. I'm not 100% on that. And those 11 feet would be from the back of the driver's seat to the van's door in the back. And then the width would be above the wheel well, about 5.5, give or take. So my design is based on those dimensions.
Right. So not only did she do the design, but she also planned out the budget of literally everything that will be needed, from paneling to installation to the furniture to the cost of the van to the solar and the generator. So we have like not just the design, but every single little itemized item so that we know what it would cost us. So that fell into one of the options because it fell into
a minimum budget that we
the minimum budget that we have in mind to try to make our goal. But we'll touch on our goal date a little bit later.
And I want to say something. So the idea of this van, and one of the negativities about it, not that I'm a negative person, I consider myself a half full glass.
The glass half full?
The glass half full. All right, yeah, that's what I consider myself, what Angie said. But one of the negatives is that we wouldn't be putting a high top on it.
Yeah.
And we probably wouldn't be able to purchase a high top van also, because that would increase our budget by a few $1,000s. So as you can imagine, this is a pretty huge sacrifice to not be able to stand up in a van, and for Angie have to cook, and for us to have our chi-chis with us and all that.
Just comfortably.
Yeah, so I can't imagine it being ideal, for lack of better words. So it's just one of the things we're considering.
Yeah.
Moving on, the other thing we're considering is an older travel trailer.
But not making the same mistake that we did with the last one, which I'll link the video up here if you didn't see when we bought that 1990, what was it, 8 or 99? 1999 Jayco Eagle Flight or something like that. Jayco Eagle Lights. We want to make sure that this time it's not bought sight unseen. We have to see it. And Lou was thinking about even paying one of those inspectors.
Yeah, for sure. Any RV that we purchase going forward, we have to be willing to spend the money to send an RV inspector to inspect the rig, even if it's new, because as you know, they're building them so fast that they're making, you know, mistakes along the way. So there could be something detrimentally wrong with the RV, even if it's a brand new RV. So I think for us and the experience that we had last time, which was a magnificent teaching experience, a learning experience for us, we need to pay for an RV inspector to go and inspect the RV and give us a clean bill of health. And so, like, there's things that we're willing to tackle. We don't mind if it looks old on the inside. We don't mind if, you know, if it's dated in any way and we have to paint it, or we have to put in new flooring, or we have to change a sink or faucets. You know, those type of things we don't want, but we don't mind. But structurally, it has to be 100%, and there can't be any mold or any like leaks or any, you know, wet areas. That's something we cannot under any circumstance accept, because that would require a great deal of work and of course an investment. And part of what we're going through this is because we need to minimize our investment. So if we bought a shoddy RV that had, you know, wet areas or a structural damage, then we would be back to zero, because we wouldn't have the money to make those kind of repairs. We'd have enough money to paint, to maybe like change furniture inside the RV, you know, things like that we would be able to do, but nothing monumental.
Yeah. And those of you that are doing all kinds of renovations like that, we so admire you for that. Like, big thumbs up to you, and we love watching those videos.
Yeah.
But I don't think that that's something either one of us can do. That's like beyond our like scope of.
Well, right now we're watching the Wonderland Travelers, and if you guys haven't heard of them, you need to go and check them out.
They're one of our favorite channels.
They're amazing people, kind-hearted, and they just bought a Nash, which is a wonderful RV, a travel trailer, and they ran into, you know, some issues with it after they brought it home. But you know, they're at Brad's dad's place, and they have all sorts of tools. They have the ability to stay in an apartment while they're renovating the RV. You know, Brad's very knowledgeable. You know, and they have a garage where they can park the RV and be able to, you know, get through everything without really rushing through it. And that's phenomenal, you know. But we don't have that opportunity. We don't have any garage that we can put it in. You know, we don't own a lot of tools, you know, and we lack the experience. And frankly, I lack the courage to take on something that big. You know, I'm not gonna lie. You know, it's intimidating.
So if you guys want to check out that renovation, like literally they've redone everything, the structure, literally the structure. Go check them out, because it's fascinating to see the work that they're doing.
And they're doing an amazing job. And can you imagine, like, once you go on the road, you know exactly what your trailer is like. Like, you know exactly the integrity of your trailer. There's no, like, guessing game because you put it back together. No one's going to put back together a trailer like you did, because it's for you.
Yeah.
You know? So that's also phenomenal. You know, and I congratulate them for it. I really do.
So that is the second option, going back to something older,
which Angie hates,
which is my least favorite idea. I would rather being uncomfortable, not being able to fully stand in the van, than having an older trailer. And I guess just the last experience burned me, and I don't want to go through that.
And I feel the same way. Don't get me wrong. I mean, it's definitely a dark cloud, but because we had that experience,
yeah, we know what to look for now.
You know, and because we've agreed that we're going to pay an inspector, there's a good chance that's not going to happen.
Yeah.
You know, there's a good chance we're going to spend a lot of money on inspectors, for sure, but it's not going to happen. I'd rather spend $300 or $500 on an inspector once we've come up with an RV that we really like and we believe we can, you know, live in it comfortably. I'd rather spend $300 or $500 and know that it's good to go and we're not going to experience that, than keep those $500, not be able to use the RV, and not be able to really use those $500 towards fixing it, because it's going to take a lot more.
Well, it's on the table. I'm willing to do it just because I want to get this done. You know, I don't want to keep pushing. We've already pushed it from last year to this year, and now this year might be pushed back a couple of months. I'm not sure, so we'll see. But the third option,
and the one we're both in love with.
We're in love with. You guys know, because she like convinced me to tell you guys, that the one that I was in love with before was one of the Grand Designs. I forgot exactly what it was. I think it was 18 or something.
I don't know.
I don't remember anymore. Grand Design Imagine 18 and some letters. I forgot what they were. But something else kind of like pushed that into second place. I fell in love. I re-fell in love with the little guy Mini Max. I love it. Like, I love it. What can I say? So that one's obviously on the top end of our budget. So if we do decide to go with that one, there'll definitely be some pushbacks of dates.
Well, it's the reason why we like that one so much is because while we were researching the vans, while I was researching the vans, and I started to understand that we were willing to live in a space that was 11 feet by 5.5 feet, right? And I thought, wait a second, and we can't stand up. Wow, you know? So like, we're willing to do that. So how do we transfer that into an RV? And I've always been in love with the Max, the little guy Max. And it has, I think it's, I want to say it's 21 feet altogether.
It's nice.
It's got the dinette on one side, the bed on the other, and then in the middle you've got the bathroom and the kitchen. It's fantastic because I don't feel that we need much more space than that. As it is, we live in a small space, and we use a very small part of that small space at this point. So I thought, oh man, that would be a great, you know, trailer. We love teardrops. Our first trailer together was a teardrop.
It was a teardrop.
You know,
Yeah.
and so we love like teardrops. We love that retro feel, and I started looking into it. And then we found the Mini Max.
Yeah.
Now what we love about the Mini Max is that refrigerator.
Oh, I'm in love with. If the little guy Max had the refrigerator that the Mini Max has, I would go with the little guy Max because I do like the bed setup more so because it like changes into 3 different angles. Yeah, it does. No?
No.
Remind me.
That's the Tab 320.
Oh, I thought the little guy did that.
No.
Well, Lou loves the little guy Max. So if the little guy Max would have had the refrigerator that the Mini Max has, which is crazy that it doesn't. How are they gonna put such a huge refrigerator in a smaller one?
Yeah.
I would go with the Max for Lou, but the refrigerator is everything for me.
The thing is that the Mini Max has a really huge dinette bed area, and the dimensions of it, you can sort of make it where like part of the dinette, if you wanted to, you can make it into a slightly bigger full-size bed, not quite a queen, not quite a full-size, somewhere in between there, and you would still have 2 sitting areas at the end. And so that's what we're looking at. We're looking at, if we get that trailer, to sort of convert a permanent bed with 3/4 of that area, and then the last quarter is like 2 sitting areas where we could put a table in between us. And then we still have the comfort of having that huge refrigerator. And you might be thinking, are you people crazy? You're deciding on a trailer over a refrigerator. Well, that's how important our diet is to us.
Yeah.
That's how important our food choices are to us.
Yeah.
That we really want to be able to carry enough food, for Angie to make enough meals for us to have. We need a comfortable bed, and we believe we would be able to accomplish having a comfortable bed, a sitting area inside the van, and enough storage and a sitting area outside. And then in that case, what we would do, we have a Ford F-150 right now, is that we would get, I don't know what they're calling it, if it's a cap or a cover. I think it's a cover, the one that has like little windows on the side. And that would create an enormous storage space for us, for whatever it is that wouldn't fit in the Mini Max, would fit in the back of the truck. And we don't have a lot of things, so we don't anticipate that we're going to need that much space. But if we did,
It'll be more than enough.
it'll be more than enough. It's like a small storage unit once you put that cover on the back of the pickup, because the pickup bed is 6.5 feet long, and I think like 4 feet wide. And once you add that cover on top of it, I think it's like 3 feet. So you're talking about a lot of space back there that if we had some things that wouldn't fit in the Mini Max, we could definitely carry it in the pickup truck. And we would still be very comfortable, because basically the layout of the Mini Max is the layout that I sort of transferred into the van. Right? Without that amazing refrigerator.
Right.
You know?
Right.
So that's like the dream RV. Now, it'll be easier to tow. It'll be a lot less weight, you know. it'll allow us to get into everywhere and anywhere that we want to go because of the size of it.
Yes, it's tiny.
You know, it's built magnificently. I mean, I am on all the forums and the Facebook groups for Little Guy Maths. And when we're looking at that, we have to touch back and we have to say, we would still consider the Tab 320S.
Yeah.
Now, it's not ideal because the refrigerator is minute. It's not even like, I don't even think it qualifies as a dorm fridge. It doesn't have a freezer. And in the case of the Tab 320S, we would probably have to buy an auxiliary cooler to carry the overflow. And I'm not 100% sure of where we would store it, but if it came down to that, to where like it would be more accessible, more affordable, and it would take us away from a much older travel trailer, or the constraints of a van, the Tab 320S is a contender because we can stand up in it, because we have a shower, because we have an AC, because we have a heater.
Because we don't have to put the work into the van.
Because we don't have to put the work in it. Exactly. That's a great point. So it's a contender. You know, it's probably somewhere in between the older trailer and the Mini Max, somewhere in there. But you know, like if all the stars align and things go as we are replanning, ideally we would want to get the Mini Max, right?
Yeah.
And then the last part,
if the numbers work out and the dates work out, everything, definitely.
and then the last part, and the most difficult for Angie, is pushing our dates from spring 2020 to summer 2020. And this is the one she's having the hardest time with. Now, I, for one, would rather wait and make the right decision than stick to a date just for the sake of sticking to a date and rush it and make a rush decision that we will regret, which, again, a learning experience. We've already done that once.
Yeah, I get it. It's on our board. I agreed to talk about it, so that means I'm agreeing to it. I'm just gonna try with all my might to win the lotto.
Okay. Those are our odds. She's gonna win the lotto.
I'm gonna win the lotto.
Those are the odds.
Yeah. To try to get to our date, to keep our date. But if worse comes to worse and our date is like a few months away and I see that we're not almost there, then it is what it is. And we'll keep you guys posted.
Yeah, in my mind, you know, let's say for the sake of this conversation, and these numbers are completely made up. I have no idea what the true numbers are right now. But let's say for the sake of this conversation that the number we're trying to hit is $5,000. If come March of 2020, you know, we are at like 3,800, I'm not jumping on the van. I'm just not, because it's not worth the sacrifice, the build out, all that, where if we waited another month and a half or two, we would be in an ideal position to get the Mini Max or to get the 320S. So for me, I would rather hit the road this time in an ideal situation than in a compromised one. Now, if that time comes and we're like, you know, less than 50% of where we need to be, then at that point,
for sure. It's obvious.
then we need to like probably bite the bullet.
Yeah, it'd be ideal to have whatever funds we need by this winter, because like if we were to hit up the Tampa RV show in, what is it, in November
January.
or January?
January, yeah.
It's one of those 2 months, November.
It's January.
In January. Obviously prices are going to be like completely dropped. One, because it's winter, and two, it's because it's a super show. And that would be the perfect time to make the purchase, which was our plan, to buy it during the winter and stay locally and then take off in the spring. So if it works out, it works out. If not, if we can't buy it in the winter, then we can't buy it in the winter.
So if we go to the Tampa show, I mean, who knows? We go to the Tampa
never
show
know.
and we find like a regular trailer for like $10,000. You know, who knows? Maybe we'll have to go with that.
Jump on board. So cross your fingers for us. And send us any good deals that you see out there, even though she's on it constantly.
Yeah, I obsess over it.
Yeah.
I do. I'm a planner, so I need to know what's ahead of me.
So that is the update for July's Tuesday talk. Because we didn't do a June Tuesday talk, I think it's only fair that we at least thank the subscribers that came in all of May, because we would have thanked them in June. And then obviously this month, thank those subscribers that came in June, now in July. I don't know exactly how many people came on board because I have that written down on my notepad on my computer and it's at home. But I did make a list of the public profiles that came up. So I know it was 5 in June and 5 in May and 5 in June. So let me grab my phone. Wrong phone. Let me grab my phone.
And we want to thank everybody, those of you with public profiles and those of you with private profiles, for joining us in our journey, for taking your time out to come and watch what we're doing and get involved with us. We really appreciate the community.
Yes.
It's really comforting to know that there's people out there that are really interested in our journey and that are willing to give us their advice or reach out to us. And we really appreciate that, and we want to make sure that you guys understand that we appreciate the viewership.
Thank you for coming on board. Unfortunately, we're only going to give a shout out to those that we know, but all of you are thanked, and all of you are appreciated.
And so those of you that have a public profile on YouTube,
do you want to
get ready to be YouTube famous?
So you want to call out May's? These are the people that joined us in the month of May.
Sure. So Robert Mather, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Relax Zeniga.
Zenyanga, because it's the enye, not the n.
Relaxa Senyenga. I think she gave me the tough ones. I haven't read these before. I should have. Randy's Adventures. Oh, I watch your videos, Randy.
Thanks we were part of a collab with her.
Thanks for joining us. We really appreciate that. Marisag 1963. Thanks for coming on board. We appreciate you. And Jen McMartin.
That name sounds familiar.
Jen is from
in Nevada. Jen and Dan. Jen and Dan, Nevada.
Yeah.
Awesome. It was nice of you to join us on your personal
Hi,
page.
Jen. Happy birthday, belated birthday. We can't wait for you guys to come to Florida. Maybe we can meet up and finally meet you guys.
So cool.
That'd be awesome. I know it's going to be a while. I just saw the video of you guys to travel all the way to Florida. So we're looking forward to that. Hopefully we can meet up with you guys.
And that's it for May. For June, we have Devonna Rutherford. Thank you for coming on board.
Thanks, Rona.
Ashley Ingo. Thanks for subscribing, Ash. Domenico Cardoz. Cardoz. Hi, Dom. Thank you. Fate Prep. Thank you for subscribing.
I like
and
that.
New Beginnings with Booty and Cindy.
I think it's Buddy.
Is it Buddy?
Yeah, I think you call them Booty.
Booty, because of the way it's spelled. I'm thinking like Buddha, so Booty.
I think it's I don't know.
I'm sorry.
We're both sorry if we called you,
Booty.
Booty.
All right. So that is it for the public profiles of June. Thank you, everyone. If you haven't given this video a thumbs up, now's the time to do it. Give us a big thumbs up. And if you haven't subscribed, subscribe now so that next month you can be called out for the July's.
Do it while you can.
Subscriptions. Yeah, and that's it.
Thanks for watching, and we'll see you soon.
Bye, guys. Hey, guys. I'm Angie.
And I'm Lou.
We're Eat, Sleep, RV, Repeat.
And this is Tuesday Talks.
This month for July, we are covering. I don't even know why I said that.
Start again. Is she in the picture? Has she been in the video the whole time?
Yeah, she's in there. See her? She's there
with me the whole time. You've been in the video the whole time? Yes. Who's a good girl? Lexi's a good girl. Lexi was a good girl. Yes, she is. Try to get your attention.
Kisses. I can kiss Lexi. No, I can kiss Lexi.
missing a lot in this house.